So there I was, telling my wife I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to talk about today, when all of a sudden and out of nowhere my eyes were assaulted by a wall of text that looked like it could only be written by a toddler. And instantly, well, I knew what today's topic was going to be. It would seem, and by seem I mean the words that I am fixing to say come straight from the sitting president's Truth Social, so you can go and cite my sources, but it would seem that the sitting president, who campaigned on draining the swamp and exposing the deep state, is now saying that the Epstein files are a hoax. Just so we are clear, someone remind me, who was running America when Jeff was removed from the census? Correct. The same dude who has, for the second time in 6 days, just dropped what could only be considered a diatribe trying to convince you that this is all the Democrats doing. MAGA, that man is calling y'all morons and begging you not to call him on his bluff about it. In fact, in the very same Truth Social post I am speaking on, Velveeta Voldemort talks shit about his now former supporters who are making such a fuss about seeing the files. Alright, allow me a second to try and keep this timeline on track. I am sure I am going to screw it up because he constantly swaps what he says and changes his stance, but we're going to give it our best effort. Alright, first and foremost, let's get something straight. When Epstein was sent to the other side, it was during a Trump administration. Well, kind of. The same person back then is still the same person now sitting in that seat. However, it's a different administration. Mostly because none of the people who worked with him before wanted to work with him again. The world is torn asunder with tales of Wayfair cabinets and celebrity cabals. An investigation starts and we don't hear shit from this administration about it for the rest of his presidency, but some dude named Q assures the people that it is actually the president's super secret top priority. All through the Biden administration and up through his campaign trail, anytime someone needed to excuse his terrible behavior for why they still supported Trump, they would say they just wanted to protect the children. But shortly before taking office in an interview, we start to see him stumble on this subject. You see, when asked if re-elected if he would release the Epstein files, he wasn't so sure. He played it off as trying to keep innocent people safe, but anyone watching could tell even he wasn't convinced by his answer. Fast forward past January 21st, and all of a sudden Trump is in office, and his Attorney General Pam Bondi says those files are on her desk, and soon they will be public for your eyes to feast. And then nothing happened. And even more nothing. And more nothing. And then people got mad and started demanding answers, and all of a sudden she ain't got nothing for you because she says them files never existed in the first place. But don't fret, folks, because that only lasted for like 5 seconds before Dementia Dawn came out and said they did indeed exist, except they were written by Democrats. Quick aside, Donald, does that mean the Democrats were doing the deed when you were doing your first term? Because it sure as shit sounds to me like you just said your first term as president was nothing more than a shadow government for the Democrats. Because it's either that or he's so goddamn dumb he doesn't remember that he's the dude that was making decisions when this all went down. Or, even worse, he wants all of y'all to be so goddamn dumb you don't remember that he was the one making decisions when all this went down. But back on track with this timeline. Trump tries to blame the Democrats, and the Democrats say, bet, Donald, we're going to force a vote to release the Epstein files. And the House Republicans say, the fuck you are. We are not finna snitch on our friends. Next thing you know, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson says he wants them some bitches released, and he wants them released right now. That was last night. Now we are here. Here being where Mango Mussolini has lost all his motherfucking marbles and just started calling it a hoax in hopes that you will believe him. And I just want to say I hope to shit none of y'all are actually this stupid. I mean, seriously, folks, even their podcasters, paid propagandists, and internet personalities can't keep their stories straight. This is bipartisan. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If the people you listen to start spouting this bullshit-ass propaganda, you deplatform them. The, one thing this country has been able to agree on for the last 6 years or so has been that Epstein was guilty and we wanted to see justice done. Don't let the dude that's sitting in the Oval Office stop that. Trump is leaning on your loyalty as your leader to let him get away with this. Do not allow it or it will only get worse. Now y'all keep them motherfucking boots out of your motherfucking mouth and remember that the golden rule will always remain yeehaw fuck the law. I love y'all. I'll see you down the line.